Good morning, everyone. This is Nathan Lindorf with The Rational Independent. Today, for today's Reddit rant, we are digging into Insider again. And I've been calling this Business Insider, but they have a bunch of different sub-brands. But we're just going to go with Business Insider because that's what the URL is. The title, which is revealing, is Facebook and Google are handing over user data to help police prosecute abortion seekers. So the way that is phrased, it seems to indicate that if you are a woman seeking an abortion, that you are going to be prosecuted by the police, and the social media companies are going to help the police, and you're all going to be doomed to trouble and whatever. That's not factually even what the article says, and that's not what the law says. They're trying to create that impression because it sways public opinion. And this is one of the things that we see a lot, where you stretch and bend and twist the truth in order to get the public impression, the narrative benefit that you like. One example that the article dives into is of a woman and her daughter set to stand trial in Nebraska for performing an illegal abortion. Some of the key evidence in that was provided by Meta, which is basically Facebook. And what it looks like is that the mother helped her daughter find and take pills that would induce an abortion. The teenager also faces charges for allegedly illegally disposing of the fetus's remains. So if you look at the detail, the woman who got the abortion, the teenager, unfortunate as that is not being prosecuted for an abortion. She's being prosecuted for basically illegally burying a dead body. Because that's what you're dealing with an aborted fetus. It's a dead body. That's a reality that we have to deal with. Uncomfortable though it may be. So even in their headline banner example, it doesn't match the headline, which is problematic. The interesting thing with this is that it appears that the prosecution, law enforcement officials, got a warrant, followed the law, went to Meta and said, we'd like information from your user platform, and here's a warrant. And that warrant entitles them to collect that information. So Facebook handed it over. It's also worth noting the warrant didn't mention anything about abortion. It doesn't have to. Law enforcement officers with a warrant can get information that they need. With the overturning of Roe v. Wade, there has been a burgeoning abortion pills by mail business. A lot of online pharmacies where you pay them some money and they ship you some pills. Well, apparently, those companies will also provide your information to law enforcement with a warrant. Again, that's reasonable and within the bounds of the law. Something worthwhile noting, it's a stat I'd never seen before, is Meta, which is basically Facebook, receives about 400,000 requests per year from law enforcement for information on its users, and it complies 70% of the time. When I look at that, I say, yeah, okay. That's not a big surprise. For today's Reddit rant, I think we're going to pretty much summarize. There's no incentive. They talk about there's no incentive for the social media companies to protect your privacy. They're going to comply. Anything you put on the internet is going to be publicly available, not publicly available to law enforcement. That shouldn't be a surprise to anyone. So we're going to close today's conversation with two sayings, two aphorisms, little nuggets of wisdom to carry with you in life. One, don't ever put anything in writing that you're not comfortable having it read aloud in court or to your spouse. Second, when it comes to internet providers, content providers, services providers, all of these crazy things that we have available to us on the internet, if you're not paying for it, you're not the customer, you're the product. You don't pay anything for Gmail if you sign up for a Gmail account. Do you know why? Because Google's getting paid. Otherwise, they wouldn't be a business. They want your data. They want to aggregate your data along with everybody else's data, and then they sell that data to people who want data about you. The people that they sell your data to are Google's customers. You are not their customer. You are the product. Facebook doesn't cost anything because you're not the customer. You're the product. If you are the product, if you are not the customer, then you have no leverage over these companies' behaviors. It says right here in the article, they have no incentive to protect your privacy. But do you think maybe they would go to bat for the people who pay their bills? Do you think Facebook would go to court to defend the privacy of their client lists, of the people who are paying them? Yeah, they're more likely to, because companies will protect their customers. You are not their customer. 2 words of wisdom to live by if you want to avoid getting in trouble on the internet. If you put it in writing, it can eventually be read aloud in court, or to your spouse, or to your parents, or to your children. If you are dealing with an internet provider and you're not paying them, you're not the customer, you're the product. Now, as it relates to this whole abortion fiasco, they definitely are trying to craft a narrative in this article that makes evil Big Brother chasing after these poor, underprivileged, uninformed, ignorant young women who are just trying to get an abortion. They're trying to create a sympathetic player and a monster, a bad guy. This is basic storytelling 101. This is narrative 101. The facts don't really line up with that. The simple truth of it is, if you are a person in a civil society, which we are all citizens of the U.S., at least that's the perspective I'm speaking from, you have to respect the rule of law. And if what you're doing is against the law, expect law enforcement to come after you. Expect them to use the force of government to compel third parties to give them the information they need to prosecute you because you broke the law. If you don't want to be in that position, don't break the law. If you think the law is wrong, change the law. That's reality. I know that's uncomfortable. I know that can be difficult, a bitter pill to swallow. You might need to move to another state. You might need to, heaven forbid, stop having sex outside of marriage when you're not ready to have a baby. Really weird idea. I feel like that's the time-tested way to solve these problems. Before abortion and birth control became so common, if you didn't want unwanted pregnancies, you didn't have sex. Believe it or not, if you don't have sex, you won't explode. You'll survive. It happens all the time. It's actually more the norm than the exception. The world is full of people who are not having as much sex as they want. Welcome to the human race. I also don't eat as much chocolate cake as I want. Shocking. It happens. If we get everything we want all the time, we become fat, lazy, and in need of an abortion. Feel free to drop a comment down below. Maybe throw me a like or subscription. Just trying to build this channel. I appreciate what you're doing. I appreciate you and your time. Thank you very much. Everyone, I hope you have a wonderful day. Good luck out there.